Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are in the wrestling IWC at this moment in time right now. And welcome to episode number 64 of the Groupchat Wrestling Podcast. I am your American hero, that ball bro right here, who was live front and center in Toronto, Canada this past Saturday night for AEW All Out. And that is where this episode is going to be placed today. You are going to hear the best review show possible for AEW All Out September 20th in the Scotiabank Arena. Amazing night of wrestling. Was it perfect? No. Was it awesome? Yes. Let's get right into it, guys. I mean, yeah, like I said, first off, the live atmosphere was amazing. It was great from start to finish. The energy was up. Well, like I said, all things like in wrestling in life aren't perfect. Some good, some bad, some good, some great. Let's dive right into it. Let's go with the opening match. We knew this was the opening match to start the day. We had Cope and Cage versus FTR, a tag team dream match.
No.
It's Cage and Cope.
Cage and Cole.
That's it. Yeah.
Oh, sorry,
Lucy
Cage
knows.
and Cope. Sorry for the father of the year. Yes.
Sorry,
my
Christian.
apologies. Please don't come after me. But yes, it was
Contact
Cage
staff.
and Cope versus FTR, tag team dream match. I mean, I think it was a very good match. All things considered, I think this is where Cope and Cage are going to excel, like in the next few months, like possibly a year, like tag team action. And it's just great seeing, like, it's been almost 20 years or over a decade that they haven't been like a full tag team. And we've seen two matches now that, does it look like they missed a beat as a tag team? I mean, they look good. They look fluid. I mean, they look crisp in the ring. And this is their second match. I think they look far better in this match than the one in Forbidden Door against Sabian and Kill Switch. But I mean, you're in the ring with FTR. You're in there with one of the greatest tag teams of all time. So you would expect nothing less. But that's not to say that they were carried in this match. But I think, Cage and Cope, they definitely showed out. They looked very good. Like I said, very fluid. And yeah, I mean, what are you guys' impressions of the match?
I thought it was the most WWE style match of the card, but I just still really enjoyed it. Like it was so WWE, but it was class. I don't know. Maybe it's nostalgia. It was great.
I mean, well, everyone knows I've been banging on about the Cope and Christian reunion for like the last year, maybe longer. Since Cope's come to AEW, he's had a lot of, I guess you could say, warranted, but also some of it is unwarranted criticism. But you're absolutely right. I do think this is kind of where we can expect him to be in the next sort of little while anyway. But no, the match itself was good. It wasn't. I don't think it was going to ever be anything like 5-star. It wasn't going to be anything on the level of like Brodito and the Bucks or the FTR and the Outrunners and stuff like that, because of like Cope does have some limitations. Christian too, but that's not in any way a criticism. I think it's just age has sort of caught up with them a little bit, so they're not going to be as fluid as they were in their heyday. But no, it was fantastic. I thought it was a great way to start the show, and the obviously one of the big talking points was obviously when Cope was doing the John Cena thing, which admittedly at first I was like, what is he doing? And then it kind of clicked, because obviously we'd seen it in the Fed. Cena had obviously done the spear tribute and everything like that. So if it's a bit of harmless banter, then obviously there's nothing really to complain about. But yeah. Yeah, Beth turning up was a really cool moment, I thought. But yeah, it was a bit of fun. We knew this is what we were going to get, and they delivered, I thought.
I don't think that it's. I think you're being harsh saying that like their age, like, is an issue. I don't think it is. I think it's just styles. I think it's just styles with them. I think Cope's style is that style. That's the style he wrestles. I think Christian can go with anybody still. I think he's the best of the two.
He's better of the two,
style.
yeah.
He's more of an AEW fit to me than Cope. But Cope, I think the criticism of Cope, as you say, it was really unfair, because like up until his injury, he was people were whinging about his rah-rah speeches and that, but he was putting on good matches and he was trying to put people over. he shouldn't have been involved with John Moxley or the title situation. We all agree on that. That was
I think
stupid.
that's what soured a lot of people's opinion about him, because he shouldn't have been in that situation
forced
to begin with. Yeah,
and it was like you are gonna watch a Cope main event, and we were like, oh fuck, do we have to? But like as a tag, it was very WWE. I thought, like, all the shenanigans that went on, the style of the match, but like I didn't care, like, because it was just entertaining, and I really enjoyed it. I could watch Cope and Christian. I wouldn't say every day, but like a lot of days, I could watch Christian every day. With what happened with Beth Phoenix, a lot of the roster seemed fucking delighted about this. Like, there's been a few that have said, "Look, please, this is my dream." Athena was one who said, "My God, this is my dream match. Tony, give me Beth Phoenix." So I thought it was great. I really enjoyed it. The beatdown was great. I expected an FTR win, but them getting the win like that. There was a few kick-outs that were a little bit really, like, kicking out again of this, like, but whatever, it was fun. It was,
it was very inoffensive, wasn't it?
Yeah, and FTR got the beat down at the end. They left him a mess.
Yeah,
and I'm sure we'll see a lot
equality.
More of it.
The E in AEW means equality, and Beth Phoenix found that out night one.
Lucy, what did you think?
Working for the elite.
Oh yeah. God, yeah, FTR, feminist icons. That is how, you take out Beth. No, she's not Beth Phoenix anymore. She's Beth Copeland.
Beth Copeland.
Sorry, yes, it is. Yes.
I think the Fed still own Phoenix, which, all right, fine. It was absolutely a WWE style match, and I fucking loved it. There are times I maybe ever so slightly critical about WWE. I don't know if you've noticed that about me. On occasion.
We're very impartial here. We're very impartial.
It was the best WWE style match on Saturday night across any TV, to be honest.
Just because I occasionally vomit at the thought of the Fed doesn't mean I'm biased. But sometimes they do get it right. Oh, yeah. And the bit where he kicked out, when they got him with the bell, when was it Dax smacked Cope with the bell, I was sure it was over. I was like, oh, it's a WWE style match. Of course, they finish on a bullshit shenanigan. Oh shit, no, they haven't. So it was WWE style with a little bit of AEW legitimacy thrown in there.
The kick out there though was a bit like,
it
was the kick out from that, but also the kick out from the shatter machine, from the shatter machine, and you're like, oh come on now, like,
and the spike pile driver as well. I think,
and then Edge and Christian,
and then Cope
kick out. They can kick out from a nuclear bomb. I don't give a shit.
Like I say, I found it entertaining. I just like, if you're going to be critical, you would say the kickouts. But beside that, I don't care. It was entertaining as fuck. It was
very fun.
Christian, man.
It was very appropriate. It was very appropriate, like, for them to start the night with that match. Like, that's the match you're going to get the crowd warmed up and get ready. And
like, just real song.
Yeah, and just real quick before we move on to the next match, like, just on the whole John Cena tribute, like, for those who just watch AEW who don't watch the Fed, I think it was a couple weeks ago on SmackDown, it was Cena versus Sami Zayn, where he did the Edge tribute, the ring, the spear, and all that. And Edge is just returning the favor, because if you watch, like, back in the Ruthless Aggression era, like, that's one of Cena's like greatest rivalries, right? That might be my favorite rivalry of Cena. So I don't mind it. Like, listen, we only have a couple months of Cena left, and we don't know how much longer Copeland has left. It could be another year or so. So I don't mind the tribute. And you know what? The fact that you had 12,000 people on their feet cheering about that, maybe that just gives you a better insight that even though Cena has never has or never will step in an AEW ring, it just shows like how much like wide respect that he does have within the wrestling industry, even though he's been there his entire life. And like I say, it was cool. Dope did the 5-knuckle shuffle, the attitude adjustment, and very fitting that of course Dax kicked out, because everybody kicks out the AA these days nowadays.
It's cool. It was cool to see the respect.
It's the nicest anyone was to John Cena that entire weekend. It is the most respect he was given.
Well, it was cool.
And if you're gonna cry about it, fuck off. 12,000 people were chanting Cena. They don't want your tribalistic, whining, bitchy bullshit. You'll get over it. It was one move, you'll fucking survive.
The only complaint I seen was some prick on Twitter, like, who everyone hates. So I wasn't really asked about that. But like, it was funny to see that a lot of respect shown to Cena, which is, it's kind of like, Cena shows a lot of respect to a lot of people, including Vince McMahon, unfortunately. But we can move on to the next match if you want now, because
just really quickly before we do, like, there's like 30 seconds I want to talk about when Christian made his entrance and he just looked out in the crowd and they were all chanting, he's our father or he's our asshole.
Yeah, they robbed our chants from Forbidden Door.
They did, but
Hey,
that's not what I'm
Yeah.
getting at. It's his smile. You can tell the cogs are starting to turn there. He's finding himself more now, and that made me.
I don't think he is, because I think he is. What I really enjoyed was the fact that as they were doing that, he was still looking down his nose at all the crowd, like he still had that
They
kind
did
of
the
like
5-second pause, but it was
like, and I
Cobb
don't
was
want him
like, I'll
to
pause
turn.
with you, shall I?
I
What
don't
was
want him
his
to turn like face. I love this. This is what I said for ages. If you remember, I said I want it to be like the MJF Cole thing, where they're not on the same page, but it works. And like this is, I want it to stay like this, because this is so fucking good.
It's very good. It's
every heel thing Christian does. You've got Cope in the background going, whatever, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
What was his reaction like watching at home, like when Beth took the spike pile driver? Like, what was Christian? Did Christian's like facial like change at all? Like,
I don't remember.
I think he'd been neutralized like on the outside.
Yeah, he was.
So.
He was on the outside of the ring at that point.
Okay,
So he tried to get back in and then got caught by Cash. But I'm sure we'll see the way it goes. But
I wonder if it's like they're allowed to do intergender on pay-per-view and they're not on TV or something. I just fucking loved it.
I've said this for so long to you guys, and this is nothing to do with the review of this, but I always think this is down to WBD. I think they're just a bunch of miserable old white guys who don't like anything that's modern, because there's so much shit that they can't do on Dynamite, but they do on fucking Ring of Honor, for God's sake. You know, they do on Ring of Honor stuff that they're not allowed, that they don't do on Dynamite. Fucking weird.
It's very weird. But speaking of weird, this was a bit of a weird one, wasn't it, Brett?
So Hey, well, I'm not going to fucking be around the bush. It was shit.
No. It was
great seeing Eddie back.
I don't want to give you the impression that I'm disagreeing with you. No, I'm giving like that expression of like listen, like, yeah, like I 100% agree with you. It could have been 100% a better opponent. I mean, the build was shit. The announcement was shit.
I didn't actually think Big Bill was that bad. I just don't. I don't think Eddie and Big Bill's styles are a good match at all. Like, I mean, like, I think they're almost as far away from a good match as you could possibly get. Big Bill tried his best. Eddie looked a little bit rusty, but you know, it's Eddie. He was doing the same stuff Eddie was doing previously, but it just didn't connect to me. And the finish was fucking shocking because he didn't even hit him, to the point where the commentators, I don't know if you've had a chance to watch it back, Brett. The commentary team said, "Oh, looks like he's missed him with that one." And then Bill's gone down like he's been KO'd, and they went, "Oh no, oh maybe he just grazed the top of his head." And it's like, oh man, you'd think because it was a clear miss, they would have gone, like, just fucking go again or something, you know. But like, I don't know what, but it was just, I was very disappointed with it, and I feel like we were like not justified in what we said, because clearly it was done to get Eddie on the card, and as you guys said, for the marketing reasons. But I just feel like this was such a waste of an Eddie return for me personally. It was,
we were saying before you guys joined, we were saying about how this was no doubt like the weakest point of the card. Like, it really turned up a notch like after this had finished.
Well,
So, but yeah, it was clearly done to try and sell a few extra tickets, and it probably did. It probably did shift a few thousand more because we've not seen Eddie for so long. But I think it would have been so much better had they not announced anything. Like, visually, it would have been better had they not announced anything. Bill maybe comes out and starts insulting Toronto, gets the heel heat, and then he says, "I'm the best New Yorker to ever set foot in AEW," and then that brings Eddie Kingston back just as a surprise. That would have been a bit more of a viral kind of possible moment. They didn't even need to have a match. They could have just had a brawl, and then that be the end of it. And then you set something up on Dynamite or Collision or whatever else, and then I would have preferred that than what we got.
It was stupid. It was stupid, Amy, because like Eddie's response as well, like, send location, mate. You fucking know they were in Philadelphia for fucking 3 weeks. Like, it's like when Stark sent freaking.
Where's the Philly? In Philadelphia, you big dumb bitch.
Yeah, when Brian Cage just started. Yeah, where's the Philly street fight in Philly, you big dumb bitch?
It's like Sorry, go on.
No, go on, Andy. Finish you.
I was just gonna say, like, it was that bad that at the point I was thinking, please, like, you know, there must be a reason for this. There must be something big about to happen. And I was thinking, okay, so I built myself up thinking it's Jericho's coming back. And I was getting excited then, because I was thinking they're not going to do this bad, because this is not for AEW standards. This was bad, and I'm thinking they're not going to do something this bad and with no payoff. Jericho's back, and I'm getting really excited. And the fucking hook signal shows, and I was like, "What the fuck, man? This is a fucking joke."
Exactly the same.
I threw me cornflakes all over the fucking floor. Fucking fuming. Fucking.
Why were you having cornflakes at like 8 in the evening at this point.
I wasn't, but if I was having cornflakes, that's what I would have done.
His metaphorical conflicts were on the floor. I actually messaged the group chat to these saying, "Cry, boys, cry."
Like, just why? Like, why? And like, you know, fucking everyone. I feel like everyone bends over backwards in AEW to try and get Hook over to the detriment of themselves, and they're always worse off for doing it. And Hook is never any better off. It's like fucking hell, the amount of effort fucking Jericho put into trying to get him over. And it was like for a
It was
year.
the best thing Danhausen did the whole time he was there.
Yeah, well, that was Danhausen's. Ironically, that was probably Danhausen's best fucking stuff. And even that wasn't fucking great because he's been dragged down. But maybe Danhausen would have been better if he wasn't dragged down by Hook. I just think the guy.
No,
I don't know. I want to see the guy go somewhere else for a bit, and like New Japan. We've done it to death, but yeah, he needs reps. He needs to change.
They brought New Japan to him. If you want someone to give him that New Japan experience without sending him, Eddie's the guy. But I will say, there was they did give a kayfabe reason for why Bill called Eddie out. It was in one of the pre-recorded promos. Eddie saying, "Bill, you've got nothing going on right now. You're stuck on your own, so you called me out just to keep yourself relevant," which I guess kind of, yeah. But the reason he's not relevant is because they haven't really done much with it.
He's cooled off massively.
It's fucking insane. Like as Wrestler Mark said, which happy birthday by the way. It got to the point where like he was so fucking hot and he didn't just cool down. He was frozen. And then what's even more bizarre about this, and this is like where like I say, some of the booking decisions over the last few months have just been like, why? Just the odd ones. Bill was one because they started giving him these wins, obviously with the idea of him. This must have been just give him a couple of wins so that he can have some reason to face Eddie. But they put him over fucking Juice Robinson clean, who's just come back and is on this fucking run where he's like, I'm no longer doing the stupid shit. And then he just loses clean to Big Bill randomly, who was frozen anyway. So there's some.
Who would you have put him over then?
As his return. Oh, Big Bill. Sorry, Big Bill.
Yeah.
Anyone. A Hook. No, anyone. I don't know. I didn't go over both the premier athletes or anyone. You know, rather than going over Juice Robinson, who needs to get a bit of momentum going though.
Yeah. The thing with Juice Robinson really quickly is that obviously we didn't see him at the pay-per-view, and he did take their loss, and obviously they lost in the tag title tournament, so that I think is where they're going to sort of start rebuilding, and maybe with the help of Ace Austin, who is going to join the Bang Bang Gang. That kind
of made a lot of references. I mean, I think they said like
it feels like that's that's the reason why.
Did they literally say like Ace up their sleeve?
Yeah,
during
exactly.
That promo?
It was right after they did.
It's right on the head.
It was right after he did the card promo and stuff.
Yeah, they said fucking the way the cards have been dealt. They said there's a few other card references as well. And it's one of them. Clearly, it is.
But
Jay White brought him into to Bullet Club as well. If you remember, like, that's when he was in TNA. It was Jay White that brought him in. So like he was actually recently talking about this recently on the AEW Unrestricted podcast. So that's going to be where it goes. It's just a shame
seems
Jay
that
White's
way.
out for so long.
But I agree. I think I would love to see him back like really, really soon. But it doesn't look like we're going to get it until like early next year. But no, I mean that's just to sort of tie off on what we were talking about why Juice and the Bang Bang Gang are sort of going through this losing phase at the moment because they need to regroup. They need to bolster the ranks.
I get that, but I just feel like the whole bit like let's mini push Big Bill just to give an opponent to Eddie after you'd let Big Bill cool off to the point no one gave a fuck anymore. It was just stupid.
It's a shame because I really like Bill. I think he's quality, and he hits one of the best boss man slams I've ever seen. But that one he hit the other day wasn't good.
Honestly, I think Big Bill's incredible. And if you guys remember coming off the UK tour last year, how over he was
so over
everywhere. He was over, and like there was such a good opportunity to pull that turn, and he would have had a great fucking path going forward, and they just did nothing. And then about 6 months later, they randomly kind of heated him up again. If you remember, he had the street fight with Hobbs, and it was like, okay, now we're going to get something, and then they did nothing again. And it's like, why? What's the point of that? It's just fucking stupid. But anyway, like enough moaning about that. Like, are we all agreeing? Can we agree that the match was not very good?
Yeah, it was out of place on Collision.
Yeah.
It would have.
I'm going to give Eddie a bit of grace though. It was his first one back after 15 months. Yeah. He's not ready for Mox yet, so he'll have a little bit. I think he will absolutely get there. So yeah, I can't really complain too much. He has been away a long time.
I would have much preferred to see him not have a match and actually just turn up to help someone, because then he would have been. I don't even know if he was exposed. I think it was.
No, I don't think he was exposed.
The styles
it was just a bit
of for me.
Yeah,
it
wasn't stylistically a good match for Eddie, but if anything, I will say maybe it was the safest type of match he could have had in his return over
Big Bill's
15,
a safe
16 matches. That's the
isn't
best.
he?
But no, like I said, the match wasn't good.
Yeah.
But like I said, I think the way this card was set up, it was meant to start here, and just like a roller coaster, or on a chart, it was gonna go here, here. And that's exactly what it did with the next match, the tables and tax match, MJF versus Briscoe. Like I said, it went from 0 to 100. And like, dude, the way this match started, before they even locked up, how many bags was it? 4 bags that Briscoe emptied out into that ring of thumbtacks around. And I just love the I love the build up and anticipation for every like slam attempt, or every like time that they try to slam. Like the crowd was like, oh, just that anticipation kept building and building. And when when Briscoe was the first one to hit, like land on the tacks, like it was like just straight carnage from there. I mean, it was beautiful violence at its best.
I want to point out something about MJF in this match. It's similar to what he did with Bryan Danielson, being complete opposite of his opponent in a match he's not comfortable with. Whereas Mark Briscoe was hitting moves on MJF into the tacks and not caring if he was also spiked. MJF was avoiding hitting moves. He was holding himself back so he didn't end up getting hit by the tacks. MJF was putting tables away. He was outside tidying up on it, while Mark Briscoe was dragging them out. MJF's like, no, finish with one toy. We'll put the other one away first. But yeah, that's what I love about MJF, is he can take someone else's style of match and just add his own little twist to it, because he's always MJF. However, the white trousers, Max.
Not a good combo if you've got Briscoe's head between your legs. Yeah, not a good combo.
He makes you care. He knows how to make you asked, and like basically what you said, I was going to say there, in the fact that he makes you believe that he doesn't want to fucking do any of this shit. He doesn't want to get hurt. He doesn't want to get anywhere near a fucking tack. He doesn't want to go in near any match that isn't a bog standard match, and even then he doesn't want to wrestle more than once a fucking year. He actually makes you believe all this, even though he's wrestling all the fucking time at the moment and he's putting so many people over. He does somehow make you believe that he hates all this, and he hates, like that, like you say, the idea that he was trying everything to avoid being brought down to this level of Briscoe, where Briscoe doesn't give a fuck if he's going to get thrown on some tacks. Everyone knows that. Whereas MJF, that's beneath him, and like he gets that across to you, and it adds so much to the match. The guy's fucking brilliant, man. I love him, and he's put Briscoe over big time there. And I know that was rumored that was something he was really felt was important. He wanted to do. And
I swore he was gonna, when none of you were sure last week, because I know certain people were going to be smug later on.
I was convinced that MJF was going to win this.
I said I would bet farm that Briscoe was winning this.
I had Briscoe on this. I was
just thinking,
I just thought MJF wanted to do it. That's why. That's the only reason I went with it, because of that rumor that he was like.
Well, it was also
an amazing loss to Mystical.
Just to say as well, like, I mean, touching on, like, I agree with everything everyone has said. It was a very stylistically different match for like MJF, but that's why I think he's probably the greatest to do it, like, at the moment, because not only is he stylistically so like versatile, but he literally lives and breathes the gimmick. Like, he is one of the few people who can literally stay in kayfabe and do like a shoot like interview and stuff, and you don't know whether he's being genuine or whether he's actually like in character, and he does it so flawlessly. That's why so few people can actually do that. The match itself was really, really fun, and like I was convinced that MJF was going to walk away the winner because of what happened like the night before. When, I don't know if you've seen that match, but if you haven't, go and watch it because it's fucking unreal. Like,
can we just talk about the 24-hour period that MJF had? Friday night in Mexico, the mask versus title match with Mystico, another match.
It was fucking unreal.
Candidate, and then you get on a jet, you fly, not even 12 hours later, you got to have the tables and tax match against Briscoe. And that's why I was thinking MJF was going to win, because I'm like, is this guy really going to take 2 losses in a row? But he does it. But it's like, he's one of the few wrestlers that he loses nothing
changes,
and nothing changes, and it's a good way to write him off, because I think he's going to go.
He's filming either side of the wrestling that he's done over the weekend. Like, he was filming in Winnipeg, so it was kind of on the way back, if you like from being in Mexico. But he's done this, like, these honors, and he's really like made people care about more people probably tuned into the Mystico MJF match than they would have done had he not been on the card, because he's that good at selling the feud, and he was that good at selling the Briscoe feud. And what it's done now is it's actually made Mark Briscoe like elevated a bit more, if you ask me. Like at the beginning of the year, like Briscoe probably was still kind of hovering around like the lower mid card, if you like, but now I think he's in the conversation to be in your, you know, like your TNT and maybe even like your mid card titles basically, and maybe throw in to like a world title program once in a while, because MJF's just done a fantastic job at making Mark Briscoe feel important. Not that he wasn't, it's just like I think this feud's really helped both of them. As to what he does next, I don't know. I mean, I think he's probably going to be filming for a little while, so maybe it's not going to be abundantly clear until we sort of get closer to Wrestle Dream. But yeah, I really enjoyed this, and I'm looking forward to seeing what's happening next.
It's crazy that he's lost three or four pay-per-view matches in a row now.
He's lost to two to Hangman,
considering his fucking size, and like what he did do, which none of you have mentioned, is he got CMLL to add English commentary to the stream.
Yeah.
Which is fucking great.
Yeah.
But he's okay with putting people over, and I really like that, because you can argue that someone of his size and his magnitude shouldn't be losing so many matches, but he clearly wants to. He clearly wanted the Briscoe program. He clearly wanted the Mystico program, and he's done the honors. Like, and he's just a pro. He's just an absolute pro in every sense of the word.
He's fucking brilliant, and I'm like, where he goes from here. He's got there's two things he could do. He's either going to come back and put his stipulation in and get a match against Hangman, or he's going to come back and what I would really like to happen, he's going to look at what the fuck he's been doing wrong and realize that being a twat doesn't always pay, and we may actually get a face MJF again. Because it's always there in everything he does. There's still little hints of it. I don't know if he does it purposely or it's just something that happens anyway. But like,
everything he does is deliberate.
Yeah, that man does not breathe without an ulterior motive.
Yeah. There's always hints
nothing
of,
he does,
of an insecure kind of like guy who just wants to be loved under there, and he always does it. And like,
there's another.
Give me it.
And Jack Perry has we'll get to that, but someone else has just come back and been embraced by the crowd after being a dickhead for a long time. If MJF sees that,
you might just
never know. You might get your boy back. I like a bad guy MJF for now.
I think I'd like to see him. I'm going to seg to the next match because of what, you know, he was working really well with like the Hurt Syndicate and stuff like that, and it was. The fact that they put a pin in that seemingly like for now is really annoying, because I think now is the perfect time. Well, maybe when he's done filming and when he's got a bit more, when he's going to be on TV like every week and stuff. Now is the perfect time to start like a feud between him and the Hurt Syndicate, who seem to be leaning more towards babyfaces now. And that, because if you think about it, like obviously going into the next match, there's a storyline reason for it, because of obviously the Demand now, which is weird name, not really sure how I feel about it yet, but maybe it'll grow on me. But yeah, Ricochet and the Gates of Agony defeat the Hurt Syndicate, which I kind of predicted Ricochet pinning MVP. But that, because you could say that MJF hired Ricochet because he hired them to help him take out Briscoe and try and set him on fire. So they're working together. You know, that would be a good storyline explanation as to why MJF suddenly, I don't know, like butchers MVP, for example, or like, you know, writes him off TV. It says, nobody turns their back on me. I've fallen for that once. I'm not falling for that again. He doesn't have to be aligned with like the Demand. He just sort of maybe like pays him a bit of money and then they fuck off or whatever.
But that takes away some of Ricochet's agency in getting his revenge for rejection from MVP, which is why we thought it would pin MVP, you know, because he's the one that said, no, we don't want you.
I'm choosing to believe that MJF is going to reunite Dynasty anyway. Just with the
I was going to say
Hammerstone not long ago.
Yeah.
On MLW a few weeks ago. I was going to tell you. I was going to segue like to Dan. Like you say you wanted a feud. Like he's by himself. He doesn't have any help right now.
Well, right now,
at the moment, yeah. But
the Hurt Syndicate are getting an extra member, aren't they? Isn't that?
That's what I mean. So
he's going around. Cedric Alexander is apparently getting signed.
Well,
or he's signed.
Wait, is he? Is that it?
That was knocking around the last few days.
last I heard, because Cedric Alexander doesn't have a TNA contract, or he doesn't.
Yeah.
He's a free agent technically, or he's got a few dates locked in, but other than that, he's okay. But I'm not sure. I would want to see them add a couple of people you weren't expecting, like someone like Anthony Bowens. Like, would be a really good fit in the Hurt Syndicate. Or
we skipped over why he has spoken for. Jerry Lynn has got him, and
I know they got him a tag match on Collision.
And I know Bowens is going to be a dickhead in Attack Max, but I can hope in my little tiny fluffy heart that they will be friends again.
And my original,
I have so much fucking acclaimed merch.
My original prediction is going to come true of Max being the face out of all this and Bones. And I said this ages ago when everyone disagreed with me because it was so fucking obvious.
Yeah.
Like Max is like everything Max has done since has been like you know, I don't know, it's quite a likable kind of, you feel sorry for the character. Whereas Bones is out there doing his arrogant Mr. Perfect gimmick. He was even saying it the other day when Jerry Lynn was having a go at him in that segment. And he's like, I'm the 5-tool player. It's like, fuck you. You're part of the Acclaimed, man. But I mean, I wouldn't be against the Acclaimed reforming, to be honest, because it's.
Yeah, if it has that dynamic, like, you know, like I said, between Bowens being dickhead and Caster being like the likable baby face, I would like that dynamic. But real quick on the trios match, like, I don't know if it's intentional or not, but Ricochet is just one of the funniest dudes you'll ever see in the middle of the match. Like,
fucking unreal.
That segment where he bowls up to freaking Lashley and then he throws the 10 body punches, of course nothing, and then he gets thrown 20 feet up in the air, and that loud screeching noise he makes, like he's fucking really. And then, like, listen, it's just more exposure of Toa and Bishop. Like, they look great in this match as well. I mean, Toa coming off the great Dynamite match with
that was great. That was a really good.
That was my favorite match from this past Wednesday. If we're being honest,
it was phenomenal. It was really good.
It's good to see them getting something they can get stuck into because they've just been floating around.
If we're going with singles matches, can I please have Bishop Khan and Shelton Benjamin as a singles match?
I think that's Shelton Benjamin. Anyone, to be honest, I'd watch any week. The guys. Incredible.
I mean, we spoke about it in the preview show about how we think that Lashley's on his way out. I don't see it. I don't know where that came from. It's probably the same dickhead who was complaining about Cope and Christian stirring up shit again. But no, I mean,
it's just more the way they killed that fucking angle with MJF. But like,
it was
maybe
very
they'll
weird.
Come back towards it, and
I hope so. Maybe it was a case. Maybe it's a case of where. You know, maybe creative changes a lot. Maybe it was MJF's schedule, which would, you know, take away from the story or whatever else. I don't
put a
really
lot into
know.
That, though, didn't they? Like, they put a lot of time into that. I mean,
it was one of the most entertaining parts of Dynamite, every week. But no, I mean, the trios match, I don't want to lose sight of that because the Hurt Syndicate, everyone, you know, people are saying, oh, they don't put people over. They clearly do. Shelton Benjamin and MVP put people over, and yes, okay, Lashley hasn't taken a pinfall yet, but maybe there's a reason for that. Maybe they're saving him for something like down the line, and this is a way to sort of protect him a little bit. But saying the Hurt Syndicate don't put people over is just bollocks because they clearly do. MVP took a pinfall. Shelton Benjamin's taken a couple of pins.
But it's that whole thing where people think you're only being put over if you fucking win matches, and like it's the rub that you get. You don't need to. You don't put someone over by fucking losing to them all the time.
You can't tell me that Toa didn't get.
Of course,
put over or get a rub in this past Wednesday's match with Lashley. Like, that's the thing. Like, you can like a lot of times in wrestling we've seen over the years, you could gain more in a loss than you do in a win.
Absolutely.
Like, if Toa were to beat Lashley, like, this is like one of Toa's very few singles matches, whether it's Ring of Honor or AEW, that would be like we're like, what? Toa beat Lashley? Like,
absolutely.
Like, he's great. He
more people would complain about him
yet.
Winning against Lashley than they would if Lashley won, which was the more realistic scenario. But
don't forget,
the Hurt Syndicate clearly like the Gates of Agony because like they've been working together on and off for like a little while, and they had like when they were tag champions, they had the tag match, so they clearly like working together. So hopefully this isn't the end. I'd like to see this sort of go on a bit because I think it's really working for the demand. Like Ricochet's getting a bit of his heat back as well, which is really good to see because he was like Big Bill, he was cooling off a little bit, and it's good. Like they've sort of found really good rhythm with each other, like these three. So I wouldn't be opposed to them maybe once this is done going after the trios titles, and I wouldn't be opposed to them having them either because that division needs something. I'm telling you that now. It needs something.
It's not happening. Got the Outrunners in Dalton Castle for that. But anyway,
Ricochet, my bald brother.
Could we talk about that's a good segue. Was the next match Mercedes Riho?
Yes, it was.
Yes,
Yeah.
next
Because
match.
Mercedes now has the boys' entrance.
Yes,
I know,
that's true.
From
Yeah,
that was so
Yes.
fucking good, that actually.
Mm.
it was quite
The
funny
line
because
from
I was
Dan,
I was
that
watching it with
amazing,
my
wasn't it?
partner, and she was saying about how many. So she has 9 belts, and I was like, yes, yeah, and
Men as accessories. That is the future.
mhm.
Dalton Castle started it. Mercedes has perfected it.
I thought this match was better than I expected, but I unfortunately am with Dan.
It's like I was saying like last time. It's like I'm not saying she's not bad. Like she's not a bad wrestler by any means, and she's been doing it for a while. Like she's been doing it since she was what, like 9 or 10 years old. So she's clearly doing well because she's still quite young.
It's a style, I think, for me.
But for me, I almost find when I'm watching her matches, like she moves at half speed. Like she moves like really quite slow, and it takes away from the match. It's not that she's hitting the moves badly. It's just that when she's running into the turnbuckle, or when she's going for like a speed move or something.
I think that's
it.
Because
slows down.
That's the same as I feel when I'm watching Anna Jay. Exactly the same.
Yeah.
In that, like it's like almost like as a move is connecting, you get like not. I don't know if it's afraid of actually connecting or not, but like a slow down towards the end. But like
it's like you're pulling your punches. It's like Julia Hart's the same. I mean, again, I'm not saying that they're bad. I'm not saying that they're bad. Because I'm not like. And people said like, oh, why do you hate Riho? I don't hate Riho at all. I don't hate anybody on the roster. I just think that her matches just don't really hit as hard for me.
I get what you mean, because as I've said before, for me, the kind of matches that I've enjoyed the most have been the likes of like the Aminata Tekla ones. For me, have been fucking phenomenal. But that's because they they don't pull the punches at all. They just go for it. Any Jamie Hayter match, Statlander matches, Mercedes, Athena, usually they take some
Billy
bits.
Billy Starks does it. I mean, so
sometimes she takes them where you're thinking, you didn't need to go that much.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I think maybe I'm being a bit harsh here, but maybe a lot of people who sort of clamour for the old AEW, like 2019, 2020, when Riho was in the division, when it was very lackluster and very bare bones. She was on top. She was the champion. She was the first champion. And since then, the division has really evolved and grown and become like something really to be quite proud of.
I agree.
And I think a lot of people, not everybody, I think a lot of people are sort of have that their perspective is sort of clouded by nostalgia and just, having them in the same conversation when actually like the division is so much better than it was. And it still needs improvement. So again, maybe it's just that now the caliber of women's wrestlers has, Riho just for me isn't in that same sort of tier, like that sort of conversation. The match itself was, like you say, it was better than expected.
It was way better than I expected, to be honest. But
because it's Mercedes,
really.
I said Mercedes would have a 4-star match maximum, because it's Mercedes and she's unreal, like she's unmatched.
Probably 3.5 for me.
I gave it 3, honestly, but I was gonna say like Mercedes was bumping for this match.
Yeah.
Like she made like Mercedes is the best bumper I think in all the women's wrestling. Like whether it's small or larger opponents, she just goes all the way.
A good example of what I was trying to say in terms of it, I got taken out of it, was more when you watch it back. And there was a great highlight clip someone put together where they put all the move after move after move. And it's literally, you feel like Mercedes doing all the heavy lifting, Riho hits a move and it's Mercedes almost flipping herself over, and you don't feel like Riho is making a flip over. You feel like it's Mercedes doing that to take her with her, in terms of the way it come off. I don't know, I feel the same. Like I say, with that was Julia Hart was a good example. I feel exactly the same when I'm watching her, and Anna Jay as well to a certain extent. They're just, I don't know. I know it's wrestling, but it's just the realism isn't there. It doesn't hit for me as much as when it's, We actually have a question, which
that's true.
Yeah,
I just noticed this.
Which is, where the hell is it? Yeah,
it's in the
with a seemingly bigger emphasis on day one people. Yeah, that's based. It's good coming off what you just said there, Dan. Can we expect to see Riho more consistently? And could we start to see more of Yuka? That's from Slug, who's a big fan of the both. He's going to hate what we've just said about them.
Yeah.
I mean, Slug, I'm Shill Bill. Yeah. top fella, constantly asks us questions that keep us on our toes. But honestly, this is a problem that I have, and we've spoken about this at length about AEW does seem, especially in the women's division, they have this revolving door of people who come back for a bit for a program with one of the two champions and then disappears for a bit. Unless that whole approach changes, I don't think we're gonna see any more or any less of maybe like a month or so here and there. Because if you think about it, Yuka came back earlier this year, or maybe it was late last year.
Like one match or two matches and vanished. Yeah.
She won a match or two on TV, had the match with Mercedes, lost, and that was that. So unless
it's almost like
that kind of approach changes with like the Joshi talent, then I can't see it.
But it's not just it's not just the Joshi talent that have that approach is kind of used with. I mean, there's a lot of talent. There's a lot of great talent, and you see them come in, have one match, and then they're banished back to like nothing. And it's like, man, just give them something to get stuck into. Give them that extra 10 minutes of fucking show, please. Like, because I as I've said a lot the last couple of weeks, I like seeing the stories develop, and I like seeing them do character developments and give you a reason to get invested in the match, not just, oh, someone's turning up for this week, going to be in the pay-per-view for at the end of the month, and then they're gone again. Like, let's see why they want this match. Let's see where they go from losing this match rather than just being shunted off TV for a while. It's so fucking frustrating because the talent there is phenomenal, and I just feel like they just don't get a chance, like, for whatever reason, apart from the fact that the women seemingly, I mean, that seems to be the fucking reason, really. Although saying that, they do that with the men a lot as well. It's just not as much.
It is a thing. It does seem like it runs across the board, but because the women aren't featured as frequently as the men, despite deserving to be on equal sort of playing field, maybe we just notice it more because
I think that's it. I think you're right, because like it does happen with the men, as we said about Big Bill and Ricochet to a certain extent has experienced that recently. But the men also have so many stories that aren't revolving around the titles, whereas the women seemingly have a title story, or a random all-star tag. Just so we can say we've got 10 of them on the fucking show. Like, give them, like, just give an extra 10 minutes to develop a story that isn't involving the title, and let's just, like, I don't know. Whether tags
like
Amanata
Tekla, like that didn't involve. I know Tekla was in the program, but we'll get to that. But
and it was great though, and it was great. Like, it didn't involve a title. It was great, and it was a story everyone got invested in. To the point where we were like, why the fuck is Amanata not on TV for the last fucking 3 weeks? Put it on TV. We want to see more. We want to see where this is going. It's like, it's just like another slug question there was, if women's tag titles are coming around, should TK book Shida and Shiori to have a run to the finals? He probably won't. So, no. It's probably, I don't know. No, Shida hasn't been seen for, what's she doing now? Streaming fucking Yakuza still?
Possibly, because I know she's had some visa issues, but that's why we haven't seen her on TV for a while. But Shiori's also, I think, dealing with a concussion or some kind of injury that she suffered in the women's casino gauntlet at All In. So unless she's cleared, I don't see that happening. But no, I mean,
it wouldn't be a bad team. I just don't see it happening at all. Like, it's
it's. Tony books for like people who know a little bit about like Stardom and TJPW and like old school Ring of Honor and other things like that. But that's pretty hardcore even for like TK. Like I think he's got enough teams to do like a tournament now. He doesn't necessarily need to rely on.
I think we've seen most of the teams, haven't we already? In
pretty much.
We'll find out on Wednesday, maybe.
Do we think that's what his announcement's going to be then?
I fucking hope so. Like, I would like.
Well, if you notice the phrasing of the question of the slogan, where it says he has an important announcement, where if it's like sometimes that's everything. Like, it could be a major announcement, it could be an exciting announcement, but this is an important one.
A huge announcement.
I really hope that it's either the tag belt or a women's Continental Classic. Because
important announcements are usually something business related.
Yeah, I mean, what we just said there about the women's division, like the Continental Classic would go some way to fixing them issues, because you get a solid like list of wrestlers like showcased on a weekly fucking basis, where we can get the fans can get more invested in what they're doing, and rather than, like I say, rotating door policy, which fucking seems to be.
And if you have a C2, then usually week to week, depending on when it culminates, then usually there's like 2 or 3, round robin matches per episode. So we could be starting to see 3 women's match. If they do a C2, women's C2, then we
drag
could
it out
see.
longer.
Yeah, absolutely.
Drag it out
but
longer
then
if you want,
you
and
can
then
get programs that don't revolve around the title, like built off the C2. It's fantastic.
We need something, because I'm sick of fucking moaning about this. I feel like I'm moaning about it every fucking week, and it wrecks me head.
Sorry.
Speaking about C2, should we talk about the previous winner and his match?
Yeah, so no, sorry, I thought you
Oh.
wanted to say something on the previous match.
No, come on, let's keep it going.
Because you didn't seem happy that we weren't happy about fucking Riho.
They don't understand you, Riho. They don't understand that you're actually more of a technician than the style they're used to. Don't worry, I understand you. I love you.
Guys, in my opinion, the next match of the night, in my opinion, this is a match of the year contender right here.
100%.
Trios match for the unified title, Okada, Takeshita, and Mascara Dorada. Like, listen, holy shit.
Fucking
there was
ridiculous.
a reason. There was a reason why Dorada was put in this match. And mind you, this kid's only 23 years old.
That's crazy.
The future of CMLL is very fucking bright. And a couple people in my comments on Twitter, I know we talked about amongst ourselves, like, we've seen a couple of dual contracts put out between AEW and CMLL. I'm pretty sure the paperwork's already been drawn up. I wouldn't be surprised if he's already signed. Like, that's another one, like how Kyle Fletcher a few months ago was signed long term. He ain't going nowhere. Dorada is another one. This dude was he was the MVP of this match, even though he didn't win this match. Like, this match was fucking incredible. But the main point of this match, like that I said in our preview of this match, like last week, this was going to set the table for the eventual feud we're going to get between Okada and Takeshita. And I love the fact that we didn't get a lot of interaction between them, but we got just enough that the anticipation, like I said, for their feud, it's just building and building and building. And I know we've touched upon, like, how do we want to see them, like, interact, or how do we want it to come to conclusion? I know some people have said finals in the C2, but I've said before, think bigger than that, because next month you have Takeshita. I think is going to beat Zack Sabre Jr. for the New Japan World title. And then, I'm sorry, you look at the New Japan roster right now. There is no one on that roster right now that you could tell me is a valuable main event opponent for Wrestle Kingdom. That opponent is in AEW right now. It's Okada, night 2. That's your main event right there. Okada's return to the Tokyo Dome. That's where the climax of their or the finale of their feud. You could do the C2 final if you do it early enough, and then maybe the rubber match is the finale in Tokyo Dome. But this match was fucking amazing. Dorada was a goddamn beast. That was a star-making performance right there. And like I said, this is 23 years old. This is one you don't let go of. I mean, like I said, future bright for CMLL.
Are we actually getting that fake card? And remember that fake card that was announced?
That one. Yeah,
and everyone got all excited, and we were like, "Oh my god!" And then it's like, "No, it's fake. It's that like AEW China or whatever it was. That Twitter account that does random ones with bears."
Yeah.
God, yeah.
Sorry, Lucy, go on.
Oh, I was just going to say what Brett said about the importance of a third man. When you're building up a one-on-one rivalry, keeping them apart just for that, just for a little while to sort of let it build. Dorada was in there the whole fucking match. The other two, Takeshita, Okada, had turns being on the outside. But when they were finally both in there together, they were having like a slugfest. And Takeshita knocked Okada down to his knees. And on commentary, we got Don Callis talking about them. And he even said, I think Takeshita's the harder hitter between the two. So just that little... And then Dorada was back in and it was finished. But just that little moment of Don Callis having to choose between them. Yeah, that was absolutely beautiful.
Don Callis afterwards as well was great with his...
When they were in the ring, weren't they?
Sarcastic clapping to Takeshita. Good job.
Yeah, well done. But he praised him on commentary, so he's hedging his bets between his two. Yeah.
Well, he can't lose. Technically, he's not losing.
No, I know.
Either whoever comes out top.
It was one of those ones. It felt like when Callis was on commentary that it felt like he just stopped. And I think that was good because that's when the match was sort of reaching its kind of climax and everything like that. It was. And the fact that he wasn't commentating meant that he looked like really shook up, like that either Okada was going to lose the title, or worse, that like Dorada was going to get a sneak fluke victory. Like when he did the roll up, when Takeshita was going for the Raging Fire, but then he did the roll up counter. I think that's when his headset came off. I may be misremembering that, but No, I mean it just added to the whole sort of dynamic of the match for me. But from minute one, this just didn't like this went from like 0 to 100 like super quickly. It just like immediately Dorada, like within the first 30 seconds or something, like Dorada was just hitting like move after move on the other two and actually like getting them shake up on the ropes and stuff. Because if you notice, like Takeshita and Okada usually start their matches quite slow, but Dorada was like, yeah, nah, fuck that. So stylistically, it really, really worked. And yeah, like you're absolutely right. Even though he's not, well, we don't know. He probably is, but officially not. Like he's not signed. But I think a lot of people who were there probably weren't familiar with Dorada. They're probably more familiar with Takeshita and Okada.
I don't think TK has ever taken that fucking chance again.
No, I'd say like now he has to sort of have that commitment.
He ain't going nowhere. That kid is going.
There's no
nowhere.
Way. But Tony is taking that risk again of having one.
No, after what happened with Dragon Lee and what happened with Dragon Lee and what happened with Stephanie Vaquer as well. He's not going to do that again, is he?
Just real quick, were you guys watching at home? How was Danielson on commentary?
He loved
this
it.
match?
Oh, he was going ape shit.
Shit, right?
He was going ape shit. But that wasn't.
He loves wrestling. Like just to listen to him, I don't know. He gives something that nobody else gives. I think it's because he's experienced it all and he's had it taken away and he's got it back again. His love's there. And I did see someone put out this mad theory, which is fucking great, that Tony's put him on commentary, kayfabe-wise, just to tease him with the stuff that he loves every fucking week to the point where he's going to be like, not enough of this fucking shit. Get in that ring.
Yeah, basically. No, I
love how he became more and more biased as the night went on.
It's great, wasn't it?
Get him, go. And then later on, gouge his eyes out.
Yeah.
There was no better example of that than the next match, which, like I said, we thought the triple threat, I mean, the three-way was 0 to 100. This was a 0 to 1,000.
I thought this would have been later. I didn't expect this to be on so early.
That's what I thought too.
I was like, main event because they were going to wreck the spot, but they got it cleaned up in bloody sharp time.
Yeah, they did.
You know what? This may sound weird. I think it was a very organized Coffin match, if that makes sense. Like, yeah, they started it in the stands and up the stairs. And I don't know, did I come out on camera when they went up the stairs? I got a few people sending me pictures saying that they saw me and they took pictures of me, my shirt and everything. Like that thud when Darby threw that drop kick from the stairs and hit Mox, that thud I was like, oh fuck! Like he landed not even flat back. It was on the corner of the stairs. But yeah, I mean, we talked about it earlier in the group chat. Like we talk about like just wrestling just soulmates. You know, I talked about Bret Austin, Omega, Okada. We got to put Darby and Mox in that category because I think Mox loves Darby for all the shit that they have done to each other the last year or so. And like when Mox and his status in AEW in the wrestling industry, you don't think he could easily turn and see it like, nah, that's too crazy. I ain't doing that. Or nah, like what? Kick me downstairs? Okay. Do hit a coffin drop through the damn coffin through the ring. Yeah, hit me with that. Set me on fire later in the night. Yeah, fuck it. Why not? Like, who gives more to their opponent than Jon Moxley? I don't think anyone else does, but this match was fucking insane. This was exactly what I thought it was and a little bit more. And then I saw the clip of Danielson on commentary. Like you said, he's trying to be biased and everything, but he said, fuck that. Let's go, Darby. It was fucking amazing.
When he had the bag, when he pushed the bag over. Do you remember when Brian?
Yeah.
It's almost like with the thumbtack when your uncle gives you a present, like little present from Uncle Brian. Don't tell your mum. Here, go on. I brought you something. Go on, as a treat. And he just pushes it over, and it's got it had a plastic bag in it, which I hope was recyclable plastic. Brian.
One of them is just on a Darby Allin.
Reusable hemp torch.
One of them is just on a Darby Allin diving on you off the back of the sofa there. Yeah.
This is actually John Foxley.
There you go.
Like what we're talking about.
Yes, exactly.
He's gonna complain.
It was great. Sorry, go on.
It was absolutely incredible. Just to talk to Bret for a second. That thing you said, you were saying a while ago about Mox being the perfect heel, giving the crowd nothing. The crowd was so behind Darby. They got like a Darby Allin chant, and there was no "Let's go Moxley" counter chant. Everyone wanted to see Darby win this thing.
There's not many heels who can do that. There isn't, like, because even when MJF is at his worst, as a heel.
He still gets chance,
people still like the heel, whereas Moxley makes like he's not a cool heel. And I like it's like that thing which we didn't like at the time, but in hindsight it actually worked so well to what it culminated in that Mox's wrestling style. He made his wrestling style so fucking boring to the point where there was nothing to cheer for him about at all.
Yeah.
To the point where all we wanted was we put everything behind whoever was facing him apart from Cope.
Yeah, it's true. It's the going back to the match, I think this was it to me it felt like they were kind of like holding back because I think they've got something more like planned. Like they have to, especially with the whole sort of Pac returning, which was really a massive surprise, by the way. Like that.
It didn't matter how like Pac looked more in fucking disguise wearing clothes than anybody else has in the fucking history.
I was more shocked that he owned a pair. I was more shocked that he owned a pair of street clothes.
He's never worn any.
His.
Like, because
he definitely stole them.
But we've discussed in the past that when he goes and gets a meal deal from Tesco and stuff, he must be wearing them fucking trunks. Yeah, that's all he ever fucking wears.
I once saw Pac in a car park and he was fully clothed, and I just stared in absolute astonishment. I looked around and Francesca, the announcer from
Ring of Honor,
Red Pro, was there pissing herself laughing at me. Yeah, packing. But I feel like none of us knew Pac was cleared even.
Well, that's
now,
the thing is because when he was
them
injured,
phasing out Gabe Kidd maybe should have given me a hint that they were bringing Pac back, but I didn't see it.
There's got to be legs in the Death Riders now, though, because we're bringing Pac back. You can't be ending it now in a couple of months. It's got to go longer.
No.
And whether it's what we said last week about them replacing the leader with Claudio or someone, I don't know. But I honestly, it's a tough one because I think Claudio would be the natural guy to take over, but maybe Claudio.
What about Pac?
That's to say, maybe Claudio stays in that enforcer role and Pac takes over. Because I would like Pac for me is probably one of the most underused wrestlers in the last fucking 15 years. Full stop. The guy's got everything.
He does. I don't think we're getting to that sort of leadership thing yet. I think that I think right now it's kind of like the Death Riders is sort of entering its like phase 2, if you like, because Mox has lost the title, but his mission is still kind of to essentially sort of, for lack of better words, like purify AEW and like basically get like a lot of the younger guys to change what they're doing. That's why we've seen it with Garcia, which again, it was probably a bit too late for me, but now if they're going to go the long game with this, then I'd like to see where they go because, we theorized earlier in the year, didn't we, about how when they do eventually, if they do Blood and Guts like this year, then it should be the losing team sort of disbands or something like that, or the Death Riders have to go their separate ways or something. But that seems a bit of a cop out. I think that they could tell a lot more with this, especially knowing that we are going to get a return on Wednesday from somebody who is long been rumored to join the Death Riders. Isn't that right, Lucy?
I'm not buying that. I'm not buying this until he's there with the conglomeration. I am not buying that he is back on team. Good.
Yeah.
Well, let me ask you. Yeah, let me ask you real quick. Like, as far as like Dan said, like Death Riders, you could say they're in phase 2. Does the Death Riders currently constructed right now, does it have enough legs? Because we know how Forbidden Door ended with them taking out Will Ospreay, like them basically like quote unquote unaliving him. Right? Does it have enough legs? Can it last long enough for a returning Will Ospreay? Because I mean, if you're gonna take him out, like the obvious return, the obvious story is right there that Will Ospreay is gonna come back for revenge against Moxley and the Death. And it's fucking crazy in my opinion that we not in New Japan, not in AEW, we still have not gotten that one-on-one match with him, with Will Ospreay versus Moxley.
There's only one problem with this idea. This idea is fucking brilliant. There's one problem. The entire fucking I can't be doing with the amount of crying cunts on fucking Twitter when this happens. They're still going to be preaching, but it's Darby's story. Don't take Darby's story away from him.
It's still Darby's
fucking
story
2 years,
that
man.
he's brought everyone together.
It started out as Darby's story, but just like stories in wrestling, it evolves to something else. Yeah. Like with any other movie series that you watch, like it started this way and then it's gonna go this way. It started out as Darby's story, but as it evolved, look at Forbidden Door. Like how can Will Ospreay not come into the story, and how can it not go into that direction? It makes they fucking killed him in front of his home crowd right there. Right. So of course when he comes back, what's he gonna do? He's gonna go after fucking Moxley and the Death Riders.
Darby gets rid of Mox. Eddie rescues Mox, brings him from oblivion, turns him back to the light side, and then Will Ospreay comes back and destroys the rest of the Death Riders. But it's too strong. They're too strong. They've got reinforcements at this point. Orange Cassidy, David Arquette, all these theories are there. And then you need Darby and Will Ospreay struggling, and then Jon Moxley comes back and gives him a hand because he's been turned by Eddie by this point in like a year. Eddie's got him back on the fucking, and he's like, what did I create this shit for? I need to take down the fucking shit, the monster I created. There we go. Wrote it for you. Yeah. Don't worry, you can have that.
Hey, and you know, real quick about Eddie, like we didn't talk about this earlier in his return, but hatred runs through this man's veins. Yeah. Like he comes out in the Cesaro sucks eggs t-shirt. Like the man will never.
I
know what's going on, Brett. You fucking working for the Fed.
Who's Cesaro? Claudio. I'm sorry.
They actually said Claudio. I didn't say Cesaro.
I'm bugging. I don't know. It's Cesaro, Claudio. They both say C, but whatever. But you get what I mean. Like the hate runs through that man Kingston's veins like no one else.
He will never, ever team with Claudio. That's why the only person he loves in the Death Riders right now is Moxley. He couldn't give a shit about the. Never heard of him. Who's Neville? Who's Neville?
Yeah.
Oh, they
anyway.
put a fucking cape on that. They put a cape on him.
Oh God, don't. Let's not. Let's move on before we rinse the bad taste out of our mouths.
Let's move on. So after that, we have the women's 4-way for the women's world title match. And now listen. Lucy has her moments of being insufferable on the show, and I need to have my moment to be insufferable. Man. So before this 4-way and the result, did I like it? No. I loved it. I fucking loved it because we talked about during the review of the show that there has to be a title change on this card. There has to be a shock and an awe to this card right here, especially just news or the rest. Well, I did. No, I am not a fucking smart man at all. I'm kind of dumb. I am average IQ wise. So when I am right amongst a lot of majority of the IWC, I will beat my fucking chest and say, I fucking called it. I love it, and it was right there. What? How did she win that title? Whose move did she use? Who's the man that has been interacting with Statlander for a couple months right now to turn to the dark side, turn to the Death Riders? That seatbelt cover on the champion, Toni Storm, legitimate fucking shock in the entire arena. I could tell that right now because the count was coming 1, 2, and 3. We all fucking jumped like, whoa. Yeah. Holy shit, one of the rare and few shocks in wrestling that we do get in general. I understand the story.
It was a shock because it made no sense. That's why it was a shock. It shouldn't have happened.
I don't give it.
It's the most completely forgettable fucking title reign end I can think of ever.
AEW was Saturday night,
it is. It's nothing title. Honestly, she should win the. She should have won the title. Not now, but she should have won the title at some point, and she should probably have won it. But I just feel like they've done such a disservice, both here and Tony, by ending it with a non-existent story and beginning a new one with no one's gonna it's not got who's she gonna face now? Why? There's no rhyme the reason to any of this. It's just we stuck on it because look at the wins she's had. Have you looked at the history which has led to her randomly becoming a champion now? She didn't build up a load of wins. She fucking lost more matches than she's won over the last fucking 3 or 4 months.
She doesn't have to. She only has to have that one moment.
But that's what I mean.
Any given day, any wrestler can be any wrestler.
That's why the whole I'm going to wrestle you and you made no sense. It was stupid. And
that's what Toni does. She sees women and says, I'll have them.
Yeah, but all of her other stuff have had some kind of story to it, like some kind of reason for the match to exist. This was just you and you. And I've just, honestly, for me, it would have been so much more memorable and meant more if they'd have gave her something to get to lead into this.
Just a quick question. Who has Toni feuded with since the Mariah feud? So since Revolution. So what matches has she had on pay-per-view?
Athena.
So she had Athena, Mercedes was the other one.
Megan Bayne.
That was there another one?
Megan Bayne, I could tell you in order. At Dynasty was Megan Bayne. At Double or Nothing, it was Mina. All in Mercedes, Forbidden Door, Athena, and now the 4-way.
Now the 4-way, yeah. So you can argue, I think, that Toni sort of shot herself in the foot, and that's why she lost the title, because she was cocky. She got cocky for a second and said, "Look, I'll fight everybody," and as a result.
That's you making a story up to justify it to yourself, whereas I'm going on what I've seen. And it's not just the story as to why the match happened. It's the fact that what they've done with Statlander's character and booking has been like up and down every fucking week. There's not been anything to like, what is a character? It's all over the place. Just
trying to figure out who she is. She's got Utah in this year, blah, blah, blah.
That's AEW trying to figure out what they want to fucking do with it.
Willow, as a friend that she's trying to go towards. The story is Chris Statlander, for that moment, remembered who the fuck she is. Mm-hmm. But she did it with the bad guy move. But that move didn't originally come from Willow Utah. It came from Chuck Taylor.
I honestly...
That's what everyone said she used Utah's move. She didn't. She used Chuck's move.
Yeah, but that's... You're tying things together now, like fucking... Like that gif with your man from fucking Always Sunny fucking like pointing all the fucking threads. Like there's not been a story that they've done for Statlander at all. It literally was there you go. There was a couple of hints about the Death Riders with Utah, but like nothing's actually fucking come of that.
The story is on the night she was the better wrestler, and she's always had that potential.
But you can do that with anybody, though.
Not one of the other two.
You can do that with anybody, and if the Fed done that and they put a fucking title on someone randomly, everyone would be saying the fucking same thing. You'd be saying like, why have they done that? There's no fucking story to it. What's the point? To me, I feel like it was such a fucking waste of a big fucking title change. It didn't feel as important as it would have had they put more effort into it.
When she actually got it, I stood up. I was like, what the?
Yeah, but that's people going, oh, so made up, so happy for Statlander. Yes, this is amazing. It's a shock. But then when that dies down, people are going to look back at it and not really remember much about that title win because it wasn't. There was no major like importance around it, but like it's
history will prove me right.
I disagree. I feel like they're going to have to do a lot.
This in a year, or maybe
they're
going to have to do a lot
to this in a couple of months.
They're going to have to do a hell of a lot now to give Statlander something to work with, because like
the story is
it's the same. It's the same situation because like they're going to have to do a hell of a lot now to give us something to work with this title, rather than just. Okay, I'll have a match against you. I'll have a match against you. Like, there's no.
Oh, like Willow's the next story. But I think Jamie gets a title shot, but
I've seen someone saying, "Oh, now she's got it. Now Willow next." Like, why? What's the reasoning though? Like actually build to something. Don't just fucking throw the title around just on people who you think deserve it. Because in that case, everyone fucking there's so many that deserve it, but you don't just give the title to them because they deserve it. It needs to make sense to me. Mm-hmm. It's like, honestly, the match was amazing. It always was going to be amazing. They always are. Yeah. But I just feel like the results, to me, I feel like it was disappointing. And I feel like it's played into a lot of the disappointing booking around Statlander in basically the last year. It's been fucking terrible booking, to be honest. Like, since that random Stokely fucking face turn away from Stokely overnight, just so Mercedes had an opponent, it's just been dog shit to me.
If there's one thing that's, we can all agree that we can look forward to out as a result of this, it's that the Toni Storm is going to descend into even more madness, because when she lost the title, if you remember, she disappeared for a little bit, which was probably for a good reason to sell like the next stage of the Mariah feud. But she came back and she was basically cosplaying as Toni Storm, acting like she'd never been in AEW before. I'm not saying they're going to go back to that. I'm not saying they're going to go back to that.
But like that was a lot. That was more to do.
She looked happy.
I think that was more to do with Mariah. I don't think where she goes from here, because like because there was nothing because there was no major importance. It was such a throwaway loss. That like, what's it like? Why is it going to send to Madison? It was a nothing loss. It was a throwaway loss. She'll probably demand a rematch
because Toni is validated. She's validated with the title. She feels validated with the title, and she got cocky. And now I think she's going to actually have to sort of look into herself a little bit more. And actually, we're going to get Toni Storm, who maybe isn't all just like innuendo and jokes and comedy. We're going to get sort of her becoming a bit more,
a bit more
serious.
I feel like they have to do the rematch because it was such a throwaway match. It reminds me of when a boxer would lose against a lower ranked boxer, like a shock, and they'd be like, "What the like maybe took it easy, whatever," and then they demand a rematch and then just demolish him afterwards. She has to demand a rematch, and then they have to build to some reason as to why she will lose this match properly in a one-on-one, and then she can kind of go off and a character can bounce off that. But bouncing off this is just, there's nothing, like, again, for me, there's nothing there because there was nothing around it at all. There was no, the build to it was terrible. And I feel like coming out of it, it's going to affect what they do. They have to do a rematch for me. And whether yes, she can lose the rematch, fine, and then maybe you can give Statlander more stuff to work with leading up to the rematch and an important defense. But like, they have to do a rematch. They can't just move on from this as it is, because it feels so like pointless.
I hope that, basically in the nicest possible way, I hope that your sort of worries don't come to fruition, and I hope that actually we look back on this in a few months' time realizing that this was actually like the right decision. But it's too early to tell right now. I kind of hope that.
I think the only way they can do that, like I say, is if they go the rematch route and then give her a good storyline into the next, more character work into the next pay-per-view, and then have a win in something that feels like she's actually overcome Toni Storm fully, rather than in a throwaway four-way. And then that could then send Toni into a madness or whatever, or into whatever she's going to do, because she will have lost after like putting a focus into it, rather than I'll fight you, and you. And in the meantime, you can have Jamie Hayter and Tekla go at it and keep Queen Aminata involved, because to have her dropped out of this feud after all the really good work she's put in with Tekla while Jamie was injured would be a travesty.
So, right. Yeah, another issue for another day, and no doubt we'll touch on this again next week, I'm sure. So what was next? It was the penultimate match. It was the ladder match, wasn't it?
Yep, got the 4-way tag ladder match. Yes, amazing.
This was probably my favourite match of the night. No, it wasn't. This was my second favourite match of the night, sorry.
Brodito, Bucks, Don Callis family, jet speed, awesome action from start to finish. I mean, that was expected once this match was announced right here, and it was a fucking car crash in the best way possible. Like, holy shit! First off, how the fuck Speedball is walking in not a hospital today during that performance was insane. Like, but the Bucks were the MVPs of this match in my opinion, because like the Bucks in a ladder match, they don't miss at all. It's like they were like the ring generals
that ever been in a ladder match before.
Yeah, they were the ring generals of this match. Like, I think they took control of the spots and everything, making sure everyone was in the right
greatest
spot.
tag team of all time.
Yeah,
I don't even think it's close either, to be honest. I think the space between them and FTR is quite big as well. And FTR have got more space between number 3 than for me as well.
But yeah, I think this was a great match. I think this was the right outcome, in my opinion, because Brodito still has plenty of in the tank left to go.
Bandito's fucking flip with the ladder, man. What the fuck? I've never seen anything like that before. That was incredible.
Dude's fucking. He's the GOAT. He's the greatest luchador in the world. For my money, like, I bet my house on that. he's
only
just
30 as well. Was it one of you that was all about that?
He's still young. Like, he's still young.
What the fuck?
30 years old.
He baby.
Yeah, still a baby. He's younger than me, and that. Yeah, well, most people are. But no, it was fantastic. It was, I think because it was announced quite late, and we only found out the participants on Wednesday just gone, meant that obviously we kind of had a bit of a guessing game. So whoever won the 3 matches would be their sort of route into the match. But I think it did wonders. Like, it sort of re-established like Bandito and Brody, like, because they shouldn't have lost. They should never have lost. I know that we floated the idea of the Bucks getting a fluke win. We talked about that a little bit, but that Brodito have like really hit their stride, and I really hope they have a long title reign, because this to me feels like something that they were probably expecting with the Hurt Syndicate, to try and set the tag team division on fire a little bit, but Brodito have basically done all of that already. I don't want to see them lose the titles. What I would say, and I'd never thought I'd say this, was that for me, the next step, Bandito needs to drop the Ring of Honor title, because it shouldn't just be a prop in this kind
100%.
In this kind of tag team like fluidity that they've got at the moment. It shouldn't just be a prop as part of like an AEW thing. So, but yeah, right now, with the teams that they've got, plus what came afterwards, the tag team division is looking very, very good right now.
It has.
We'll get to that.
The tag team division's insane. Like, when you see the tag teams, like, and if the Acclaim do come back as well, if they are going with an Acclaim, there's so many fucking tag teams you can throw in there now.
I put a thing out the other day where you've got Brodito, the Young Bucks, Cage and Cope, someone who shall remain nameless for now. I'll let Lucy do the honors. FTR, the Hurt Syndicate, the Outrunners, Paragon, Gate of Agony, Jet Speed, the Guns or the Bang Bang Gang, the Don Callis family in various concoctions, the Death Riders, the Swirl, shit name, LFI. I'm probably forgetting some, like Commander and Hologram. I think Commander's back pretty soon as well.
Yes, I've seen that.
Yeah.
Yes, he's fit.
So, the Acclaimed, maybe. Yeah,
Commander and Dorada as a tag team, please.
Oh no! Well, Commander and Hologram, like they're already a tag team, but Hologram and Mascara Dorada. But
that clone's coming in though.
Yeah, we don't want him wrapped in any tag team business.
Yeah, clone. Yeah, Hologram's about to be entwined with that clone storyline coming up.
The tag team, there's probably more. There's more that I'm missing. Premier Athletes,
the
MXM,
Swirl,
the Swirl, shit name, but love the tag team. But
Paragon will probably be done soon anyway, because I suspect, I think
conglomeration.
Roddy could be the next one to defect, probably hopefully to the conglomeration.
The conglomeration,
because he didn't look happy. He didn't look really happy, did he? When they were talking about Orange Cassidy, he's like,
that's coming soon. That's coming soon. But
Kyle's getting really excited, and Roddy's just like, whatever. Maybe Marina takes him to the Death Riders.
Wouldn't mind that, to be fair. But
same after last week, that was a great moment.
Oh, when they were face to face, her heart melted. But she was trying to be all tough.
She is, but. What happened after the match? Lucy, I think it's only fair that you take the floor because you've been chomping at the bit for the last hour to try and talk about this. So.
Well, okay. I think wrestling's had a good run. We've done pretty well. But I think we should end it here. Nothing's topping this. Andy, you've got the login. If you can just come on, delete the channel, that would be great. I think this is the place to stop. We're done. Delete wrestling. We're finished because nothing. And I mean nothing is ever topping the return of, because of course, fucking course.
Oh, it's the t-shirt of the day.
I have a t-shirt for this moment. It is Jungle Boy.
There he is.
It is the fabulous return of my beloved Jurassic Express. And not only Jack, but Killswitch has now reclaimed his old identity and is Luchasaurus again. Whoever caught that belt, by the way, that he threw out, just, fucking stay awake. Because if I find out where you live, I'm just saying. So on my to rob list. But yeah, so at the end, the Young Bucks.
Is Marco's son coming back then?
I hope not. I don't like him.
No, Luchasaurus ate him.
Damn.
That's a bit harsh, Dan. Fuck him.
I don't know.
I don't like Marco.
No, I don't
Dan
rate
spoke
him.
about him like he was Jimmy Savile or something then with that fucking that like delivery. Fucking hell.
Nah, just
sorry, Marco.
I don't think
I
that.
Like you, Marco.
I don't think that Jack Perry and Luchasaurus should go back to what they can keep Tarzan Boy because it's good and it suits them.
He ain't going back to the trunks.
I think they should build on what they've learned since being apart from each other and use that to create something new. They can still call themselves Jurassic Express if that's what they want to do, because I know that they printed some merch for it, so they're clearly going to go by that name again.
He ain't going to be Jungle Boy, is he? Because he'd already changed his name to Jack Perry by that point towards the end anyway, or Jungle Jack Perry, then Jack Perry.
Yeah, exactly.
Jungle Jackman.
But
Jack
like,
Boy.
I do like that whoever originally spotted the clothes of Jack Perry was absolutely fucking spot on in that thing, because that was like, yeah, it was fucking. It was.
Do you remember
so
when
well
other girls that watch this? Do you remember when we were young and we were told be careful on the internet because we might get stalked by old men? Yeah, how the fucking tables have turned because every single one of my girlies recognised Jack by his arm. Remember when MJF was the devil and we all knew it was him because of his arse? Yeah, same thing. Jack's just his arm, his jacket. We were like, that's our boy.
Who's he going after now? Are they going after the Young Bucks now?
I would say so. That feels like the natural next step. Bucks are going to want a bit of like revenge for being upstage. But I was just thinking as well, like whilst we were talking about what, how good is the all-star tag team graphics? Seeing on one side you got Jurassic Express, you got Jet Speed, you got Brodido, you got the conglomeration, and on the heel side you got Don Callis family, you got Death Riders, you got the Young Bucks, and the tag divisions needed them for a little while because I think that Luchasaurus only had a certain amount of legs as on his own. Jack Perry, they were trying it for a little while, but I think just the whole Punk stuff kind of really just didn't really do him any favors. Not that it was his fault, but it just kind of, I think it limited what they could possibly do with him.
It did, but it wasn't working anyway. You remember the Hollywood Jack Perry stuff wasn't getting over that much with the crowd.
It wasn't, no. So
he was great when he come back as a scapegoat, though.
Did him the world ago. It did him a favor.
I liked him when he come back as a scapegoat. I would have liked to see more of that, and I'm sure his character will probably still be that. So I mean, he's still got the van. He's still got the ball.
Unless they call that
the Jurassic Express now, by the way.
You beat me to it. Yeah, nice one.
So that when he gets to the venues, he can Jurassic Park it.
Terrible. Should we end?
Dan brought up the All-Star.
Jurassic World, we're just living in it. What?
No.
Dan brought up the All-Star tag match possibilities. Can you imagine, like you said, the babyface team on the same team? You could have Brody King and Luchasaurus on the same team. That's just cheating. Right there, like
oh my God.
Oh my fucking word! But just that future tag team match, like just a future tag team title match. I mean, between Brodito and Jurassic Express, like that 1-on-1 between Brody and Lucha is gonna fuck.
Shout out to Joey Janela as well, who apparently was the one who picked the Jungle Boy, the Tarzan Boy theme music originally.
Yeah,
he tweeted about it.
He's got a good taste in a lot of things.
Well
he said it must be one of his biggest contributions to AEW.
Excellent. The moment when the crowd started to sing and wave, and you saw Jack Perry sort of go, as if, because we did say they used to dance for Me Too. We never forgot how, Jack. We were just waiting for the music to start.
They were dancing before the music kicked in as well. Look. Like the crowd are doing their work before anyway. Like it was like you could see like they were waiting and waiting and waiting. The crowd just went, fuck it, we're doing it anyway.
We were going to do it. We were going to do it regardless if the music hit or not. We were going to do it regardless because they're just on the same screens together. But once that music hit, like we just lost our shit together. I'm like, I think Lucy will agree. It just feels right.
It does feel right.
Yeah.
It's like I feel like world peace was brung amongst us temporarily in those 2 minutes of the Tarzan boy playing, but back to reality. And
it was one final thing that I want them to do, because I've been banging on about it for like the last year and a half, is that they need to have the match with Cope and Christian now, because Luchasaurus still has a lot of resentment for Christian. Jack Perry still has a lot of resentment for Christian, and I think this will do wonders for both if they do a program not involving the tag titles necessarily, but they need to do something, because I think this would be a really good way to sort of flesh out more of the new Jurassic Express, and it will do wonders for Christian's character as well. I think this
I wouldn't do it. Yeah, I'd wait for a bit.
No, I'm not saying on Dynamite or anything. Just give it time.
Well, even then, I'd drag out as long as I can, because neither want to be taking a loss anytime soon. Jurassic Express want to be going on a run, and you don't want to take away from Cope and Christian by giving them any losses against anyone.
Yeah,
who's not FTR.
I think we know what the next few days, guys. It's just come up premiering in 30 minutes. BTE, we got stabbed in the back at AEW All Out is the title of the next BTE episode.
Right.
In 30 minutes, which will have aired by the time this goes out.
Everyone throws out all these people for Wrestler of the Year. The Young Bucks have got to be in that conversation. The fucking year they've had is fucking insane. Just quality of the matches they've had, the night against everyone as well, against so many different variations of opponents. They're so fucking good.
They are.
Yeah.
And the lower third of Fool and His Money Are Soon Parted was beautiful.
So, I think that's is that the last match?
No, we got the main event.
You fucking joking? The best match on the card, dude.
Oh, did you turn over to watch whatever travesty was going down on the other channel?
Oh God, no! I wouldn't dream of it. I only watch wrestling.
It was.
Well, they've said it's not wrestling.
This was
TV show.
I know. That's what I mean.
Not a very fucking good one.
It was
we got the main event here. We got the Protostar.
It was
Kyle
the
Fletcher.
5.5-star match for me. This was the best match on the card.
It was
at everything.
Kyle was incredible. What a star! My God.
It was. This match. Hangman is the best babyface in wrestling, probably that I can ever remember. I don't remember anyone who's been as much of a. I don't like it. There's nobody who's kind of like had me as emotionally hooked into the matches, and like his character. Like I know Tony said he lets him do his own thing, so he said it's a more reaction of a reflection of who he is. But his character is just like such a person that you kind of like, you admire and respect, like everything about the way he handles himself and what he says and things, and
you feel for him. You feel things like authentically when you watch him.
Like which was
I liken it, like, obviously I agree with everything you're saying, but particularly the one thing that sort of really drove it home was, remember when he was at, was it Grand Slam Mexico, and he cut the promo in Spanish?
He's authentic, man. That's what it is.
Yeah,
There's an authenticity
like
to him that you don't get with any other. I mean, like some of these other babyface, like you got fucking Cena on the other fucking show doing his manufactured shite, whilst at the same time talking about how much he loves Vince McMahon and doesn't care about what he's done. Hangman just looks like comes across as such an authentic fucking dude, and like that really kicks into his character as well in the way it's brilliant.
He's a phenomenal actor.
He is the complete how we talk about Moxley, where that he gives you nothing to latch onto as a heel. Hangman is the complete opposite in the sense that everything that he does, as a babyface, he's the most relatable babyface that we've probably had in the modern era. Like, we've seen a man confront his insecurities, who has faced his shortcomings in real time, on screen and off the screen. We've seen him go through the rigor. We've seen him go through triumph, through tragedy, and then picking himself back up piece by piece to the point where he is now. Like Andy said, he is the best babyface in all of wrestling right now, because there's it's all 100% authentic with him. There's nothing manufactured or processed with him, a lot of food here in the US, fake everything. It's all preservatives and
liquid
all that.
cheese.
No, it's exactly, he's not liquid cheese. He's not processed like meat in a plant or in a factory or anything like that. He's real. He's authentic, and he's real. Just like what he said to MJF in that promo, he's real. I don't feel like when he's talking on the mic, he's not playing a part. He's not an actor. He is who he is, I think, both on and off the camera. That's why he is the number one babyface, not just in AEW, but the entire world of wrestling.
He's the main character.
I feel like that's why his promos, he's managed to there's some things he's done in some of his promos. The two ones that stick out, the socks one and I'm going to steal your weed. But it's why he finds it so easy to think on his feet and add these things and improvise to the promos, because he's playing himself, and then just throwing that in there is because they put some socks on. That was fucking great. And I'd seen one recent of the old one with thing, and he's having a go at Swerve. He's going, and I'm going to fucking take your weed as well. Yeah. And then man, it's so fucking good.
There was one when he was in the run up to the MJF match at Revolution where he says, "There's three things that I hate in this world: it's running out of biscuits, English Ivy, and Maxwell Jacob Friedman." He's so good at it.
He's so fucking good. That's not to take away from the fact that he's also one of the best in-ring wrestlers.
No, I know.
AEW's full of these guys. But he can go with anybody. He can. He can have a hoss fight.
He can have a hardcore match. He can have a technical match. He can have a barn burner like we saw the other night. He's the complete package.
He's got that feel
so lovable.
He's got that main event feel, that champion feel. He's he comes out with that belt and it feels like the men's champion is here. And the fact that he was behind calling it the men's champion,
men's world
championship,
fucking man.
Yeah. What a fucking dude,
now
man.
said for the foreseeable future, as long as Hangman's champion.
I mean,
that's what he calls it.
That was great.
That's what it is.
It was so good hearing Tony talk about that the other day, saying that was Hangman called him it and we'll just go with it. And he also said about him and Brody that basically, look, I don't have any issues with them. They're themselves. They can get across whatever they want. If they wanted to do MAGA, they could do MAGA, but they're not. They're doing. They're actually nice people. So
Brody is the antithesis of punk rock. I mean, so it's that's just fucking amazing. Him coming on that ice t-shirt in Mexico, that was just fucking aura 100. But this match right here, the main point, the main mission of this match was to get Kyle Fletcher over as the next big main event star, and it passed Kyle passed with flying colors right here. He felt like a big deal. He more than held up his own against Hangman, who we all agree is the best, is one of the best in the world, if not the best in the world. He came off as a big main event player, not just in the future, but right now, within the next year or two. I don't think any of us would complain if Tony decided to put the big gold belt on him, but it's just I said.
Did we really doubt that though? I mean, I think we all said this a while ago anyway, just how he's progressing. This basically just kind of confirmed it.
This
and
is like
hammered
the
point
stamp.
home
This is like
that
the
he-
stamp
that-
of
yeah,
approval.
he is within the next 2 years. This guy's going to be like in
Carrying
the
the
conversation
torch in
for
the,
world champion. Yeah,
This was to show that he can handle it in the main event spotlight, though.
yeah.
You know, to carry
Oh,
a big
100%.
pay-per-view. That's different than just having a good match.
It's
The
And
thing is,
him and
like,
Ospreay when Ospreay wins that title is going to be fucking incredible.
yeah, for sure.
Oh,
I wouldn't be
God.
surprised if Kyle beats Ospreay for it, like when he wins
I
it
think
in
he
Wembley.
will. I think he will. Yeah.
I wouldn't be surprised. But Eddie, how we get there, I don't know yet. It's way too early to predict yet. But no, I mean, I know going into like this match, like Hangman and Kyle was, we were a bit like, because it's a TNT champion, Kyle's TNT champion. But if this, I was thinking about this, and yeah, okay, we didn't get a TNT title defense, so Kyle is in a spot right now where he's world champion material, but he's actually got a belt already. So now what I would do is I would have Kyle use the TNT title to kind of really solidify himself over the next like 6 months, because it not only will that reestablish credibility to the belt, but it will sort of say to him, to prove to himself that he belongs in like the world title scene. I don't know how it sort of manifests, but the TNT title could benefit from well, it has anyway. It has already massively, but over the next 6 months, I think we can start to see that become a bit more legitimate, and Kyle will definitely be in that conversation like next year, like for the next couple of years. I just don't want to. I don't want. Well, actually, no, because with I don't know how regularly Kenny's going to be back on TV, whether it's sort of sporadic, and Ospreay and Swerve are out for a while, but now Kyle Fletcher's sort of definitely in that conversation for a reliable main event. I think I'm happy. I was loved the match as well. It was fantastic.
I think this match was ace as well, because like it went through. The match had everything. It went through every type of wrestling in that match. Every moment you had the Hangman using the big pressure and fucking,
the V-trigger
Fletcher
well.
using the hidden blade, and Hangman using the one-winged angel and the V-trigger as well.
It's so fucking good. It was like, yeah.
And I love the story, like leading up to the match. Like you go back to the past couple weeks, the promo back and forth between Hangman and Fletcher. The story that Hangman's telling, that you reminded me when I had my first title shot back in 2019, I wasn't ready, and just like now, like. You know, you have all the tools to be a champion, but you were not ready. And you look how the match ended with Kyle like ripping off the turnbuckle pad. Like he was in control. He didn't need to do that. But he lost focus. He got ahead of himself, and it was, like I said, it was his inexperience in the big moment right there that cost him in the end. So that was, in a way, like people will look at it as kind of a thrown together match, but they told the story within the match right there. Like I said, them using their rivals' signature moves right there. But like I said, Kyle ripping off the turnbuckle pad, that inexperience right there in the big moment. That's something that Don Callis can get into Fletcher's ear going forward. You know, this is a learning experience. You know, you got to stay focused. You got to stay on attack. And I think, like Dan, you were kind of alluding to, like I think this will elevate the TNT title even more, because I mean, if I'm Kyle Fletcher, like I want to get going immediately, get back in the ring, and just keep my stock at an all-time high. And like I said, I mean, we remember a few weeks ago he took out Omega. You would think if Omega's coming back shortly, that's the next feud between Fletcher and
Wrestle
Omega.
Dream, Kenny versus Kyle.
And which Fletcher's 100% going to go over. That should build his stock even more.
You go with that, and then I think Fletcher is the next logical challenger for Takeshita when he eventually beats Okada. I think, because
that's next year, like in
but I feel like that's at that long term. That's where you head, because you're going to have that big moment of Fletcher stabbing Takeshita in the back, and then imagine Fletcher and Takeshita. That's just You talk about like 6-star matches.
I know. I just thought this up. I know, like a lot of like AEW fans, they talk about Fed stuff and all this. Like, I want to bring up like a potential outcome, like let's say when Takeshita does win the New Japan World Title. Just stick with me. Like imagine if they celebrate it on Dynamite, like whoever in Archer has Takeshita up on his shoulders, he's celebrating, and Don Callis is right there, the thumbs up, thumbs up.
I know where you're going with this.
And then a thumbs down.
The driver.
They could do.
And then just drops him on his back. And then here's the thing. All the Don Callis members will beat down on Takeshita. Fletcher's not there. He comes out. It looks like Fletcher's going to make the save for his buddy Takeshita. And then they're both like looking at the Don Callis members going up the ramp. they're both looking, and Fletcher slowly goes behind Takeshita, right in the uprights, low blow, and it's just, oh my god! Like, I understand, like, maybe we don't like a lot of Fed callbacks, but just that moment where Triple H and Evolution turned on Randy Orton right there. He was the new young guy coming up through the ranks, and then you just say, oh.
You could see that because Kyle is so good at, like, his character work as a heel has been fucking phenomenal over that. I mean, like, that the moment that sticks with me this year was when Ospreay beat him, and he's just before he hits that final blow, he's on his knees screaming, "I hate you, I hate you," and it's like, oh man, this is so good. Yeah. I know. Like, I feel like him going fully at Takeshita to try and destroy him after he's kind of had the success that Kyle has missed out on will just be incredible. I think they've got
what a turnaround. Like, I think, like, maybe it's like the beginning of 2024. Kyle Fletcher was just sort of floating. Probably that's a bit harsh, actually. Like, he was. We knew how good he was, but he was just sort of no one really knew whether he was going to really get like the chance. And then it was after when Ospreay and he had that match with Ospreay when it was Ospreay's first Dynamite match, I think, like as a signee, and then they tore it out the park, and then just gradually since then he's just been going from strength to strength, and now he's just like this complete wrestler, and now he's still only 26, 27.
Yeah, but I won't go over the top. I mean, Stevie Richards said that he needs to go to NXT and learn.
I don't know who that is. Is that some CTE riddle, Belen, by any chance?
Yeah.
I used to really like Stevie Richards. What a fucking disappointment he turned out to be.
He needs to go and learn how to throw strikes.
He needs to go to NXT, apparently.
Like your favourite wrestler's favourite wrestler. I seen the clip of them strikes. Honestly, they are actually the worst I've ever seen in my life. They were missing a shoulder. She's swimming.
I said this. It's like, we knew that the return. Okay, I'm not going to lie. The return. Good moment. The crowd were really happy, but wait until she steps in the ring, and we were going to be like, well, this is something. I don't want to disparage the lady, because I think she's had some mental health issues of why she was stepped away from the ring for a long time. And I don't watch the Fed, so it's not really fair. But even so, like that was embarrassing to see.
Oh, I haven't seen it yet, so I can't really.
Oh no, just you. She's just doing this. It's basically like a swimming in like on land. It's just like really like looks so cringe. So
it's bad. Honestly, it's so bad.
And that's what they want for Kyle Fletcher, is it?
So evidently, but no, you can keep your absolute cinema. Fletcher's fine. He's just signed a long-term contract anyway. I'm pretty sure anyway. I think recently he signed like a 7-year deal or something. He's not going anywhere. So
no. The whole show, as well as Kyle, elevating Kyle to a new level, it feels like it was the start of so much.
It's
so
always the
many
case.
Things
it's always the
started
case.
It all out.
Yeah, it's always all out this time of year after All In, Forbidden Door. It's always that same year. They sort of hit the reset button. They start to pad things out a little bit, give it a bit of time, give people a bit of time off here and there, and then now we're going to enter like a really consistent, run of shows going into like Wrestle Dream and beyond, and that's what they've been doing for most of this year, which is why we hold the stories and the quality of the matches to such high regard. And to an extent, this probably wasn't. I think All Out doesn't necessarily get pay-per-view of the year, but it gets, for the standard that they've set, and for everything else that was on offer like earlier, throughout the course of the year, it's still in the top 10.
Regardless of the issues I had with stories, I did say in ring it was probably going to be incredible. And it was. It always is. Like, I mean, the Eddie match was the only one that really was a letdown in ring, but like they never fail in ring. It's insane.
They always deliver.
The level that it's like
even.
No, I was just going to say, like, you think it's unsustainable, but it's not. Like they keep doing it all the time. We're never disappointed with the in ring quality.
And mind you, this show, they didn't have Ospreay, they didn't have Omega, they didn't have Swerve. I mean, like I said, and no Athena, but still, they could just plug and play whoever they can. They're gonna turn out, just like you said, very good shows. And to me, right now, if I had to rank it, it's number 3 on my list for AEW pay-per-views. It's All In, Double or Nothing, and All Out.
I think right now, in terms of quality, I think, Forbidden Door, because I'm a bit biased because of being there. I think that sort of obviously edges it. All In was obviously the spectacle, but it still had that in-ring quality. I think Double or Nothing, because just the sheer like volume, like the amount of stuff riding on that Hangman Ospreay main event just is some of the best storytelling that I've seen. Revolution as well, like you can argue there was like 4 genuine match of the year quality candidates on there, despite it being sort of ruined by like a really underwhelming main event. But there's so many. You can watch any pay-per-view this year so far and get a sense of what AEW is all about, because it in-ring story driven wrestling, and that is exactly what you want.
Sorry, what were you going to say then, Lucy? You're about to say something.
I have no idea, but I am very conscious.
I know
we've got only 3 minutes until BTE.
So with that in mind, we'll love you and leave you, shall we? Sorry if we didn't get a chance to answer all your questions.
Did we miss any?
We
Sorry,
left
we
it
can
late.
go over. We can go over. I don't really need to go for BTE.
I think this is a good time.
We had a couple come in whilst we were recording.
Well, should we do 1 or 2 of these?
We'll just do
one.
one.
Yeah,
from Amplified Smark, who's changed his name now to Lollyballer. Will the women's tag titles take a piss on the trios belt? Probably not.
I don't think so. I don't think it's possible for belts to urinate. But
and I don't think they'll be. I'm not confident they'll be booked very well anyway at the moment. But we'll see. You guys, no.
If that's the announcement we're getting on Wednesday, then obviously it's going to be fantastic, because they've had the belts made for a while now, haven't they? And it feels like they need to capitalize on it. I just want them to have a plan. I want them to have a long-term sort of vision for the belts, rather than just becoming another collection of belts. You know what I mean? As long as they do that, I'm happy, because I
don't want them to just be papering over the cracks of no women's time. Like, it's just
the division has proven that it's ready for it.
It's more than ready. The talent's unreal.
Exactly. So I just hope that they give this the same attention that that they deserve, because if you notice, like aside from like the world titles, for a while some belts don't feel as important as others, but then there's a quick turnaround and then they become more like the tag division. Like earlier this year they didn't really seem that like valuable, but now they're like the division's like really heating up again. But as a result, the trios division's kind of suffered a little bit. So with the addition of women's tags, I think I want it to happen because the division deserves it, but I just want them to have some kind of clear direction for it, rather than just sort of going from like week to week like the Fed do, and just don't really give them the credibility that they deserve.
I would prefer that the announcement to be the C2, to be honest, because I feel like that the exposure the women in those matches will get would far outweigh whatever they do with the tags long term. I mean, just
I'd rather C2. I'd rather C2, honestly.
Yeah, the C2 would be good as well.
And the last question then: what was your response when people claim that WrestlePalooza beat All Out, despite All Out was better than WrestlePalooza because there's no stories in AEW? I've not seen one person claim that WrestlePalooza is better. In fact, I've seen the opposite.
ESPN.
A matter of fact, before this morning, ESPN released their rating for. Mind you, ESPN is now the new host network for the WWPLEs. They rated the show a C.
I think C is very generous.
I do, yeah. Where the fuck have you seen people saying that WrestlePalooza was better? Because I haven't seen. I genuinely haven't seen one person say it.
No one has said it. Like even the biggest WWE diehards that we see on our timelines,
they've just gone quiet.
They've either not said anything or they've just actually said, "Yeah, this was pretty shit," to be honest. So, whereas everybody, I mean, if you didn't like All Out, fine, it's your opinion, but they've not said that WrestlePalooza outshone it. I haven't
think
seen
anyone said
anyway.
anything like that. I don't think anyone's even commented on WrestlePalooza because it was shit. They've just like the odd person has said, "Oh yeah, the Stephanie Vicker match was good," and that's it.
Right?
Yeah.
But I heard that was the only
the women
positive,
are carrying that.
The women have been carrying WWE the entire year, if we're being honest. But what do you expect for a WWPLE that leads off with Cena and Brock Lesnar in 2025? What the fuck you think it's going to set the tone for the rest of Palooza? Everyone calls that name shit, by the way. By the way, shout out to Will Ospreay. I think the same day, was it the night before, he had his ice cream. It was a funky name. And then in the bottom right, in the tiniest font, he said, "What a shit name." Like, yeah, it's...
we can't end this as well without mentioning that MGF cosplaying as Cody Rhodes at CMLL. What a
Oh
fucking
God,
man.
yeah. That's why go back and watch the CMLL match and watch it all if you can. It's on Triller. You know the whole card. I mean, I haven't seen the whole card.
On Triller Plus?
Yeah, it's like 15 quid or something.
Yeah, it's but the main event, apparently the main event is like absolutely well worth it. Like alone,
No, it is.
So
It's incredible. It's like I think like it is excellent, and I wouldn't say it's my match of the year, but I think Sean Ross Sapp, I might be wrong, said it was his favourite match of the year. Someone did anyway. One of the you know.
But he comes out. Did he come out as?
Yeah.
I know we joked about him coming out as Cody Rhodes, but was it actually supposed to be like Homelander or something?
It was Homelander,
Okay,
which is basically
right.
Cody Rhodes. Yeah.
It's basically Cody Rhodes.
Yeah.
So, yeah, well, he does Cody Rhodes better than Cody does.
Fucking does at the moment.
Yeah.
All right, guys.
I think that's it, isn't it?
Close off on that. All right, guys. Thank you everyone for joining us here for this episode 64 of Group Chat Wrestling Podcast. Please follow us on Instagram, Twitter, and TikTok, GW Podcast UK, where we update about 3 to 5 clips from every episode. Follow us on Twitter, GW Podcast UK, for all show updates. I am that ball bro, your American hero in here. And once again, I was right about Statlander winning that women's world title. And with that, we wish you a good night. Mwah!